Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be returning to Field of Glory 2, the turn-based tabletop, really, war game that allows you to fight through various battles which occurred in the, well, I don't know what it was, Roman period of time. Today we're going to be looking at the newest DLC, which just came out, and it is called the Age of... Is it called the Age of... I should make sure I know what I'm talking about first. The Age of Belisarius. For those of you who are unaware, Belisarius was the famous general, the principal architect of Justinian's reconquests of the Western Roman Empire, the Byzantine reconquests of the Western Roman Empire. And he was a phenomenal general with quite a track record. In this DLC, there are 11 new factions are introduced, 6 new, as they call them, epic battles, 4 new historical campaigns. They add dismountable cavalry units, so units that are cavalry but can get off their horses. They apparently expand custom battle modules, which I'm not very familiar with, and extend some of the campaign sandbox capabilities. Some of the new factions that are in this game are sort of the Bedouin Arab tribes between 300 and 636 AD, the Byzantines, obviously, with Belisarius, you need the Byzantines in there, from 493 to 550 and 551 to 578, actually another one at a later period to 599. Some Frankish tribes, the Gepids, the Hunnaks, some Indian groups, the Lombards, various Lombard factions, the Moorish, Ostrogoth, Pictish, Sassanidans, just a whole bunch of new factions that are included. There are 30 new army lists. I am not going to list through all of this. There's a lot of additional expansions to this. Now, Field of Glory 2 is a turn-based sort of strategy war game, if you will. It has a tabletop feel. I believe it actually is modeled off a tabletop game, and it is an interesting game. I haven't played a lot of it since it first came out, as I've already mentioned, but it is something that I wanted to go ahead and revisit, so that's what we're going to do. I've got a passing interest in Byzantine history, so why not check out the new options here. So what do we want to do here? Do we want to do battles or campaigns? Do we want to do like an epic historical battle? I kind of feel like doing an epic historical battle, if only because then I don't have to go through and manage building my own army. When you go through the campaigns, you do kind of, I mean, there's an auto option where you can automatically build the army, but there is also an element of you constructing the force. I think I'd rather just go into a fight with the historical army that's provided to you. Now, by the way, also there are various different DLCs that are already out in this game. So there's Rise of Rome, which I believe is the stock game. There's Legions Triumphant, which is sort of following the assassination of Julius Caesar. And there's the Immortal Fire, which is sort of an earlier period of time. I think it's like the Greek and sort of Persian period of time when they were fighting each other. With that being said, we're going to be fighting, as I've already said, the Age of Belisarius. So let's go ahead and see the overview here. When the Western Roman Empire ended in 476 AD, most of the provinces were controlled by powerful Germanic tribes, the Vandals in North Africa, the Visigoths in Spain and southern Gaul. The remainder of Gaul was occupied by Franks, Burgundians, and Alemanni. The Angles, Saxons, and Jutes were already established in southern Britain and were steadily advancing north, defeating the local Celtic people as they did so. Italy was in the hands of Ottokar, a barbarian Foederati general who had deposed the last emperor of the Western Roman Empire, that is, while the barbarians fought over the west. The Eastern Roman Empire, now known to history as the Byzantine Empire, survived. So it gives a little bit of an overview here. I'm not going to read through all of this. Let's see here. Well, actually, maybe... Essentially, it gives you the backstory of Belisarius and his deployment to first North Africa and eventually his campaigns into Italy. We're just going to go ahead and launch into it without reading through all of the wonderful text that gives you the historical background. But frankly, if you're watching this channel, you probably already have a sense of the history, and if you don't, I'm guessing you're Wikipediaing it. So there's that. Let's see here. There's the Battle of Dhara, which was one of Belisarius' famous victories against the Persians. I believe it was outnumbered 2-1 in 530 AD. This was fought in Asia Minor, as you can see here, this little icon on the map, and was key to solidifying the empire's eastern flank, which would then allow the reconquest to happen. Essentially, the Romans were always fighting the Sassanids or the Persians, and in order to reconquer Western Europe, they really needed to find a way to secure their eastern flank, and Belisarius helped to do that with the victory at Dhara. We're not going to be fighting that fight. Let's see here. Maybe we should do... Let's fight the Vandals. 533 AD, the Byzantines versus the Vandals. The Battle of Tricamarum. And someone suggested, by the way, that I do like a greatest hits of disastrous mispronunciations for me, so that might be something that would be interesting to do. Maybe we add that one to the list. In 533 AD, Belisarius was sent to North Africa with an army of 15,000 men with the aim of defeating the Vandals and returning the province to the imperial control. He won a great victory at Adesium in September and captured Carthage, after which the Vandal king Gelgamir had retreating to Numidia to reorganize his forces. Gelgamir summoned his brother Zaman, who had been campaigning in Sardinia, to return to Africa and help defend the homeland. He also sent out agents to bribe the Byzantine Hun Federati and Arian Christians to change sides. Once Tazamand had returned with 5,000 men, Gelgamir advanced on Carthage, seeking revenge. Belisarius was aware that Gelgamir's spies were sowing discord in his army, and so he did not want to risk a lengthy siege with an increased possibility that treachery might occur. He therefore led his army out of Carthage to seek battle. He found the Vandal army encamped by a small river at Tricamerium. Historical victor, the Byzantines. Aftermath, the Vandals were now completely defeated, their men either enslaved or conscripted into the Byzantine army. Gelgamir tried to escape, but was eventually captured and taken to Constantinople to be paraded in Belisarius' triumph, the last ever given in Rome's history. So this battle leads to the final triumph through a Roman capital, the final triumph in Roman history, thanks to Belisarius. We're going to fight as the Byzantines, and we're going to accept battle. Rout the enemy army by A, routing at least 40% of their troops and 25% more than you have, or blah, 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 words. Okay, we need to rout the enemy army. There's two ways of doing that. One is routing at least 40% of their troops and 25% more than we have lost. I don't quite understand the wording there. Or rout 60% of their troops. Okay? So essentially we have to rout 40% of their troops, and that has to account for more than 25% of what our losses are, I guess is how I'm reading that. And then the alternative is just routing more than 60% of their troops. Byzantines start with turn 1. The Byzantine army cavalry faces the Vandals across a large stream. Their infantry will reach the battlefield soon. The Huns, after being bribed by the Vandals, are sitting out the battle to await developments and may join either side later in the battle, depending on who they think is winning. The Huns will deploy on the hill behind the Byzantine left flank. Oh, great. So if they decide to fight against us, we're basically fucked because they're going to be on a hill behind our left flank. The Vandals seem reluctant to cross the river and give battle, so the Byzantines have a choice to make an attack now and take advantage of the Vandal inactivity and encourage the Huns to stay on side, or delay the attack until the infantry arrive, but that may mean the Vandals launching a desperate all-out attack and the Huns may join them. Okay, so apparently we have the choice of either assaulting them with our cavalry, with limited infantry support, or it looks like no infantry support, or we can delay the battle until our reinforcements come up, but that does pose the risk of inviting the Huns to join the other side if we appear weak. So right now, this is strictly a cavalry action on our side. We've got Byzantine flankers, which appear to be light horsemen, I'm assuming bow-armed, designed to kind of move around the enemy flank. We've got Byzantine heavy cavalry here. I don't know what Burkarai are. They appear to be quality, superior, armored, bow and lancers. So interesting. They're swordsmen also. So they appear to be an interesting force. And then, again, heavy cavalry. So we've got heavy cavalry on both flanks. We've got Bukharali in the center with Byzantine heavy cavalry in rear. And then we have some lancers on the rear right and more heavy cavalry on the left. So we've got a lot of heavy cavalry. We also have some additional remaining points that we can use to deploy new troops. So can we deploy new troops? Ah. Do we have any additional troops we can call in? We can call in noble lancers, I believe. Yes, we can. We can also call in armored horse archers. I think we've used all the remaining quantity of the rest of our troops. So where are these guys showing up anyway? I'm clicking on these horse archers. I don't really know where they're appearing, but they're appearing somewhere. Oh, I've already used. Okay, so we'll use up all of our points there. We'll accept battle with our horse archers. Now we've got to make the decision if we want to advance on the enemy or not. Now, it looks like the enemy in front of us is mostly cavalry as well. So, frankly, because of that, I see no reason to not go at them. There is a stream between us and them. I assume that'll act as kind of not a buffer, but I assume that'll slow us down. So, let's see here. How far can we advance? Let's advance 3 hexes forward. I think we're going to do that with every one of our units. I'm going to try and keep a tight formation here. I might be kind of exposing a little bit of my flank here. But we'll straighten out in the next turn. So we're going to advance. I'm going to try and advance my whole line so that I've got one steady line of troops. Now, the troops in the middle here are, because they have bows, I assume they're not perfect heavy infantry, although, again, they have lances, so I'm not entirely sure. I assume the Byzantines generally you'd have like a horse archer unit in the middle, heavy cavalry on the flanks that would kind of allow you to withdraw in the middle and then kind of draw the enemy into your lines, and then you can hit them with archers in the flank. That would be my assumption, although I know next to nothing about Byzantine military tactics. But these are the assumptions that I'm drawing. So we're advancing, we're trying to keep everybody in a nice solid line. We're going to have the second line be a little bit further back, if only because I want to allow a little bit of flexibility for my troops to retreat in the front if necessary. But we are going to try and have the second line of troops again in one sort of solid mass of troops. You can see that unit I just clicked on was the general, and we'll go ahead and advance the bulk of our troops here. These guys over here aren't going to be able to be in line with the rest of the troops, but that's fine. They'll just advance straight 3 hexes. Now we'll hopefully let the Vandals come forward, and then we'll approach them. But I think that's going to be the end of this turn. Let's see. Don't think I have any other units to go. Yeah, everybody's moved. Okay, so we'll go ahead and end turn 1. We'll see what the enemy does. Okay, so the Vandals remained put. They did not move. Okay, so the situation remains unchanged. Let's just tidy up our lines a bit. We're going to advance 3 hexes again, basically into the stream. And then we'll see about advancing past the stream. This way, if the enemy does attack, they'll be... I'm hoping, anyway, that they are attacking into the stream, which gives them some kind of penalty. I'm assuming being in the stream myself, this turn will hurt my overall whatever. But the one positive there is I think we might be a little bit too far away from the enemy for them to attack us instantly this turn. So that's my hope anyway. You can see here we're going to continue advancing with our troops forward here. My right flank is a little bit short. So I'm actually going to advance some of these troops over here, some of these lancers here, to extend my right a little bit. We'll extend our right by 3 here. This is our ally general. And the reserve will kind of move forward here, and it's kind of the same sort of pace. I'm not really doing anything revolutionary tactics-wise. I'm just kind of advancing straight at the enemy, so hopefully that's not a disastrous decision in this fight. I've never fought this battle before. Frankly, I haven't played Age of Belisarius before either. So we'll see how this all plays out. We're going to have our second line is all in the exact same position, and we'll see if the enemy starts to advance on us. Now they do. They apparently can reach our front line here, and but only one of their units moved? Well, I don't understand that. A sub-general of Vandal cavalry with 200 men advanced all by himself? That's interesting. We're gonna archer the frick out of him. We'll use that time to continue extending our flank. Again, the one thing is some of these units over here are going to be lighter units because they were already previously on the flank. I think we're just going to hold our position with the rest of our force here, now that we just archered those guys. I don't want to get sucked into overextending or turning these guys and exposing their flank to the rest of this enemy force. That. Turn the general here. These guys. Looks like we can actually turn these guys as well. I do think these guys, these Byzantine flankers, are going to need some support, actually. Let's move one of these heavy cavalry units over here, because I expect this unit may break. That'll do with turn 3, and we'll see where we go from here. And the enemy does nothing once again. I'm so confused. This enemy unit has already lost 40 casualties. Oh shit, did I mean to charge them? Did. Apparently I can't shoot at them again. In any event, I think we're doing a good job here of disrupting these guys. It's our heavy cavalry's in position to their rear. Meanwhile, I think the rest of our line kind of holds firm. Maybe we move these guys up onto the stream. Again, I'm hoping I'm not being too passive at this point. We're going to extend our flank a little bit. I hope I'm not being too passive at this point and inviting the Huns to try and attack us, given we're only fighting with one enemy unit. But the one unit we are fighting, we're doing reasonably well. So just keep doing nothing, Vandals. Oh, the enemy has taken our advance on the left here as a moment to advance against us. You can see they're advancing against this group of horsemen that all advanced. And now the troops on the right here are launching their own melee attack. Although interesting, just a limited enemy advance again here. It seems like this river line is sort of the enemy's point at which they decide it's time to play ball, I guess. Okay, so this enemy unit here is continuing to get cut to pieces. It's down 100 troops from what it started at. And you compare that, this one unit of our Byzantine flankers have lost 3 casualties. The unit in our center has lost... Sorry, these guys have lost 3 casualties. The unit on our right flank has lost 10. The unit on the left has lost 10. So we've lost 23 men to the enemy's almost, well, 90 casualties. That's playing out reasonably well for us. Let's turn and fire archery. Let's archery! Kushin, thanks for the host. We'll go ahead and shoot at these guys with archers. Shot. And we'll shoot at these guys. We're going to extend our flank. These guys are going to move over here, and then apparently we can't turn them. Great. Also going to advance this unit over here. we'll turn and archer these guys in the flank. This is also a general, I believe. So hopefully we're starting to disrupt the enemy cavalry here on the flank. We'll see if advancing that general unit's going to trigger the enemy to do anything here. Again, it's a very cautious advance, but they are, now that we advanced one more unit forward, they are moving their own troops forward. Apparently our troops on the left are giving way and breaking. Why? Why are they evading and running away? Why would you do that? I guess I'm fighting this more like infantry than cavalry, maybe? I'm not really sure. I'm kind of confused by that. Alright, so our whole left flank feels like it's caving in at this point. I guess the one positive is now we can use these horse archers here to hit this enemy unit that's advancing with horse archery. And I guess that's a good tactic. Alright, well, there you have it. Those guys, anyway. So this advancing unit is disrupted and lost almost 80 casualties. Meanwhile, we're going to keep archering the guys straight in front of us. Inflicting casualties there. Alright. Since the fight seems to be over here on the left, we'll go ahead and start shifting more of a heavy cavalry over that way. I'm probably committing too many of my reserves at this point, but it is what it is. I'm trying to break these guys in the... that are fighting over here. Attack them, or... Ah, damn it. It's going to be exposing my flank. Go ahead and move these guys over here to protect them, but I'm sure by just advancing those few feet, it's going to invite an enemy attack, so we'll shift our general and some reserves over here as well. Our center is going to be pretty lightly guarded here, but we'll see how this all plays out. More enemy troops advancing here on the left. Really committing quite a few troops to try and break our left, which is already kind of in this weird quasi-break anyway. Oh, jeez. They broke that unit. 27-7, and it says it fragmented. General enemy advance. Yeah. Oh, their flank. See how this plays out. They do feel kind of close in, so it's going to be hard, I think, for the enemy to maneuver. Melee's continuing here. The enemy finally broke, and our horsemen decided to chase after them. The Huns have decided to join the Vandal army. God damn! Why? Why would they join the enemy army? Things are going our way at this point. They seem to be going our way, unless I'm misreading the situation. Charge! Oh, God. That was a bad charge. These guys appear to be pursuing. At least I can use these horse archers to kind of pepper the enemy who's advancing on our position. Just general casualties being inflicted. So I think we'll move some of these reserves here back to the back. Why did they fragment? I don't understand why that would count as a fragment. All I was trying to do is pivot them back to face the enemy here. This Byzantine cavalry has been fragmented. The attackers actually outnumber them. These guys have been fragmented. Charge in the flank! Why don't they break? These guys have lost over 100 men. Still hanging in there. Alright, so we're deploying at least 3 of our horsemen back. Oh god. Flankers probably shouldn't be making melee charges. Just a guess. 24? Good god! Well, our left sucks. Flank is kind of exposed over there. I think that's about it for this turn. We're continuing to chase that enemy unit that's routing. Meanwhile, the enemy's really given us some rough lessons here on the left through some charges. Our left flank is in trouble. Our center is just beginning to be engaged, and the enemy is... feels like they're doing quite a bit of damage. We did get a good deal of archery damage in on them, but this cavalry unit of ours that sort of oh god, we just lost a whole cavalry unit. They broke that one enemy unit, charged after him, and just got killed. The Huns are deploying now. I'm curious how many men they have. If it's only the 3 units, then I'm less worried. We've got well more than that we can deploy over that way. The left in general is just in bad shape. Hey, Pixel. You got crushed trying to play this in a multiplayer? Well, I'm just trying to play the AI, and things are not going great so far, so... But I might be routing this enemy unit here. Is that a standard? Maybe that's a general. Maybe that's why they haven't fallen yet. They've lost over 140 men, though. C and C. Oh, this is their commanding general. Well, good. Okay, so I didn't actually want all of my troops to pursue him, but in any event, we just routed the enemy commanding general. So that's got to be good, right? I don't know why I just had my flankers charge again. That was a stupid decision. Alright, why don't you archer those frickin' Huns? Damn turncoats. Teach those traitors a lesson. Alright, so... Here. I feel like they should do more damage than that, firing into the enemy flank. There you go. That was a good charge. That was pretty... Fall back. Hold firm. Cool. Alright, that's exactly what I wanted you to do there. Oh, nice! No, don't charge. Don't chase after them. The problem with cavalry is they just want to go running after every enemy unit that they break. And then they get themselves all overcommitted. Ooh, that was a bad charge. Good God. Well, that's a cascade effect. General. Belisarius, save the day. Alright, you are going to advance up here. So, our lines are a little bit hectic at the moment. Nice. This enemy unit is almost destroyed. Flank attack, routing. God damn. I need to stop charging with cavalry. Like, yes, you do a good job and you drove them back, and that's great. But now you just got yourself and your entire position completely out of position. And the front line is gone. I think I'm trying to fight this too much like a phalanx. Oh shit, these guys are dead. That flank's gone. Alright, so this is just a hectic fight all together. 13% versus 9%. Does that mean we've lost 13% of our force already? Eh. Well, that's the end of this turn. Those enemy units are routing, which is good. The enemy's CNC is routing, which is also great. I'm assuming there will be a big morale hit to the enemy if their commander-in-chief routes. Additionally, that flank attack just died. And now our left flank continues to evaporate. I'd say our center is in better shape, except I don't know where our center is because all of our cavalry have created gaps in the lines by charging and chasing after bad guys, and our right flank is going to be overwhelmed just by sheer number of enemy troops. Meanwhile, the Huns have a few troops that are deploying to fight against us. Melees. Routing. Troops rallying. Pretty even meleeing to this point. Well, not that one. That's not going well for us. There go the flankers. Okay, we're on to turn 9. And Huns. That's got to be a flank charge, right? No? Damn it. The only reason I charged there was I thought it would be a flank charge. We're not chase these guys? I think we already are. There's 65 men left in their enemies. Command unit. These guys, I don't want to fight. I don't want to touch them. I don't want them fighting. I'll continue meleeing here. Nice. I'll melee where I think I might have an advantage, but other than that, I'd rather not. Chase after this Vandal cavalry that's retreating. Drive them off the map, hopefully. Or what to do with this unit here. Nice flank attack. Man, those horse archers, they can inflict some serious casualties. Apparently they can only melee the troops in front of them. Oh god. Oh, there goes our right flank, probably. could fight with these guys, but I think it's better not to. Maybe just against this one unit that's smaller than them. Nope, that was a bad decision. Yeah. Alright. Well, in that turn, again, I don't know what the... I think this is the percentage of casualties. 18% versus 12, so we're losing a lot more men than they are. Hence the green versus red. They've got a +6 swing. We've got a -6 swing. So some of our troops are breaking there. If my troops didn't behave in this sort of Waterloo-esque way of cavalry just being stupid and chasing after a fleeing enemy and listen to my initial intent, which admittedly you can't just randomly communicate, then we'd be in better shape. Let's see, casualties are up to 24%. This battle's not going well. I have not signed up for the AOB tournament. Pixel, I know they're running a Age of Belisarius multiplayer tournament, but as you can see with my own struggles against the AI, playing humans might be a little beyond me. Slingers! Huns. If we had those extra 3 units and these 4 other guys are over here, things might be going a little better. Oh, there goes another one of our units. We're up to 31% casualties. Fear not. We shall lose many men. But at least we killed the enemy CNC. Or maybe not killed him, but drove him back. Where are our reinforcements? That's a lot of whinnying horses. Alright, that was a bad turn. Horse archers, do your thing. Why is their CNC still not doing good things for us? Okay. John the Armenian, one of our good generals, doing his duty, holding the line. Jeez, that one unit is really kicking our ass. We have a lot of generals, I will just point that out. Really? Enemy slingers, hold firm. Okay. This is Belisarius back here, right? Hit the damn guys with horse archers. This thing is not going great. What haven't we... We've moved everything? Alright. Another turn down. We'll see where we end with casualties at the end of this turn. Fall back. God. And there goes another one of our units. Our entire left flank is gone, but hey, at least we're chasing down their commanding general. At least he can't enjoy his victory as he runs away in fear. Oh God. Well, this is what rolling up like a wet blanket looks like, as this whole line here is gonna cave in There they go. Multiple units collapsing this turn. I don't know. 40 to 15% casualties. I don't even know if the infantry arriving would save us at this point. I assume the enemy infantry would also arrive. Hey, they retreated off map. Good for you. I thought things were going so well for the first, like, turn and a half. Alright, guys. I may have to Phil Mickelson this, pick my ball up and go home. It's just such a fucking disaster. Hey, the Byzantine infantry's arrived. Is that all we get? Just those few units? Here's the problem. Where's the front line I should be sending my troops to? What the hell are they gonna do? God. There goes another unit off the map. How long? Jeez. Infantry. Forward. To the rescue. John of Epidinos. Move forward and save the day. If you can. Hey, you fragmented them. Good job, sir. Ow. Horse archers really can do a number. I would think, like, horse archers to the rear would actually be pretty devastating, but this game doesn't seem to think so. And there go those troops. Well, at least I took the pressure off this guy's flank, because they all just chase. Well, apparently you don't want to attack there. Bad idea. Guys can't do anything. We're still chasing down the enemy general. I guess that's good. What haven't we moved? Okay, well, end of turn 11. We'll see if we can survive for a few more turns. This is becoming a bit farcical at this point, even with the infantry arriving.
I used to be an adventurer like you, says Stoic Frog. And then I took an arrow to the rear.
Where did the arrow to the knee thing originate? Was that Homestar Runner? Wasn't that a Homestar Runner thing, or was that from something else? I can't remember. I need more rage. That'll really, you know, spark up the engagement here if I just start screaming. Ow! I don't know. Give my units all names so that when they get slaughtered due to my incompetence, I've got some sort of fake attachment to them. Start crying and sobbing on camera. Oh, arrow to the knee, Skyrim, good call. But I feel like there was a Homestar Runner comic that had that. I feel like that was one of their Teen Girl Squad skits that had that before. You're right, though. The whole cultural thing, that was Skyrim. The Great Skedaddle. It's Bull Run all over again. Trogdor was the best. I need Trogdor right now to swoop in and burninate the countryside. And burninate the Vandals or whatever. You have your army has lost heart. You are defeated. My lord, we cannot conceal that this was a defeat. Okay. So my infantry didn't even get to play. My infantry showed up and they were basically like, nope, we're going home. Everybody turn around and let's leave. The great disaster. The dead bodies litter the battlefield. The enemy horses in the stream have turned the river blood red. Meanwhile, the rest of the Byzantine cavalry is cut to pieces on the plains of North Africa. Belisarius is humiliated, and the Byzantine Empire fails to retake western Rome. The cataclysm spreads back to Constantinople, where a revolution overthrows Justinian I. Political instability ensures the Byzantine Empire falls within 100 years, all thanks to my defeat. Well, that sucks. If we look at the casualties here, we lost about 1,000 cavalry killed, about 1,000 wounded. I think this is about 2,000 casualties total. We also had about 2,900 soldiers captured or deserted for a total loss of 5,850 men, 45% of our force, a much larger percentage when you factor in the infantry, which wasn't engaged. The original force was lost. The enemy lost around 465 men, so about half of about half the number of killed. Their wounded were somewhat comparable to ours, 942 versus our 1,100. They only lost 50 men deserted, but I do at least like that I drove off the enemy general from the field of battle in disgrace. He may have won his battle, but he did not get to savor it as he might have otherwise. With that being said, I think this is going to end up being a shorter stream than I had intended due to my humiliation. I think we will call this one call this one, I guess. Call this battle on justification or on grounds of defeat and gross incompetence. The historical butcher turns and rears his ugly head, this time without victory. Well, I think that'll do it, guys. Thanks for tuning in for yet another lovely battle. The Butchering My Soldiers Field of Glory 2, a game I need to do better at, because it is a game that I would like to show more of on the channel. Age of Belisarius brings the game to the Byzantine Empire and the period of the Byzantine reconquest under Justinian I, and focuses on the battles of his glorious general, certainly not me, Belisarius. I did have a fun little tidbit that I will leave you with. We were doing at work, I work in marketing and product development for a Fortune 500 company, and while we were doing that, while I was working, our team had this sort of get-together, a little outing, where you do like a me on a sheet, basically a slide or two where you say, like, this is a little bit about me, fun fact, and we had a question of, like, if you could pick anyone in history to have dinner with, who would it have? Or there were, like, 3 names you had to pick, and I decided one of them would be Belisarius, because I thought it would be a really fascinating character to meet. And we were doing this, and actually my boss's boss, like the senior director of our whole department, instantly knew who Belisarius was, because apparently he's a huge history buff. I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing. Like, I threw Belisarius in there amongst some other names because I figured no one in the world would know who he was, and apparently I'm wrong. There are more history buffs out there than you would ever think. And some of them are senior level positions at Fortune 500 companies, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying, as always, thank you for watching, and I'm out.